But yeah, alright, here we go again. Here we go again. Hello, Saeed. How's it going? I'm just setting up everything to go so far. I'm doing good. I'm doing even better watching NFL over here, and Ravens are currently winning, so it really can't be much better than it is right now. 1-3 DNF. I think that's gonna be half the lobby, lad. You won't be alone. There's a part of me that wants it to rain just for the chaos. So we're gonna be what, 14? Because people, for some reason, really like watching cars that are too big for a street go around a street. That's why I see that. For some reason, people have an addiction to that. Yeah. Also, currently getting bullied by Moose for a complete fuck up because I thought he was a Bengals fan. For those who follow the NFL or know anything about it, they're playing the Ravens at the moment, which is my favorite team. Which means we'll glance over every now and then. Well, I'm 13 at the moment, which means I think we're missing a singular person. But yeah, we're waiting for a couple of people, and then we'll be able to get going. Baraka into the Haas. Baraka versus Mitchell, obviously, are but yeah, oh, this could be interesting. Obviously, it's Monaco, so safety cars just do not exist. Well, wait in a minute. We'll figure it out as we go along. There's Boba. So I think we're now at everyone is going to be racing. But yeah. Part of me is just sat here watching the NFL too. It's a really close catch. But yeah, alright. So, Steger is apparently one of the ones to watch today. He's got a good time around Monaco, done the wheel as well. Mitchell, obviously the one to watch today. He's trying to fight back against Baraka. Baraka, who went into the halfway point of the championship in the lead of the entire championship. Everything that's going on currently sits 3 points between the two. BR4 now 49 all over again, back after not the nicest of days last time out. But we'll look to see if he's going to be able to rectify that today. Maybe he can close in on the top two a little bit. However, this might be Mitchell's chance to open a little bit of a gap. Baraka's on pad. Monaco is... you have a wheel here. It favours you quite massively. Because Monaco's always one for very minute inputs. You have to realistically get that nailed down to a fine art, especially around here. Let's see if we can go through. Well, we're hoping without any DNS today, but I'm not holding my breath. This is Monaco. I'm expecting somebody to be all in qualifying, never mind in the actual race as well. Speaking of that, we are now headed into qualifying. We get to figure all this out now. Who's going to be the first one out, though? Who is going to be the first one out? Barack has gone out early, but he's not the first one out. That privilege goes to Steger. That's who we'll watch. Nighttime at Monaco, eh? I think this was voted in by the drivers. Should be relatively interesting. I think people didn't want to get their eyes absolutely burned off after coming out the tunnel. Down in Sector 2. And into Casino Square. You got the long rounded hairpin. We continue to watch. Well, everyone's going to be out on the softer start. Well, actually, apart from Mitchell, for some reason, who's gone out on medium tyres, I guess, to warm up. Hello, Rigo. Yeah, I get to love. I love these early parts, but I also get to watch the Ravens, who just popped on the screen at the same time. So I get to play back and forth for a small amount of time until Steger gets over the line, which he's about to do. Actually, going down towards Razcast now in the third sector, which means this is going properly, and we are off down the main straight. We go with Steger, who's going to lead us through the first lap up to 7th and then all the way down to 3rd as he goes through Sandoval up the hill now toward the end of the first sector. A long sweeping left-hander here. He's got to get pretty much nailed on for a quick time. And it's also one that could realistically end your race if you decide to turn in a little bit too early. Steger going into Casino Square. He's going to... Oh, we got a yellow flag already. It's just one of the Harters by the looks of things, letting people, well, backing off to let himself have some space for his lap. We continue to watch Steger. He goes into the tunnel now and comes about the end of the tunnel. There's a McLaren waiting this time. And he's going down into the chicane. That's the worst camera angle I've ever seen, and not entirely sure how that kept valid. As we go down now into the third sector for real. This is not the greatest corner either. It's a bit off angle, and down into the swimming pool chicane, and now into Raskas we go with Steger. What time are we looking at here? I think Paul is going to be somewhere in the 9s. We'll wait and see. He's going to go down the straight now. It's 108, 109, 110, 110-1 for Steger. That is a very high indication that we're going into the 9s extremely quickly here. 10-1 for Steger, 10-3 for Elite. Barack going over the line. It's already a 9 flat. Okay. Well, I said we were going into the 9s. I did not think we were going to also go to the 8s. To the 8s. Bloodwave is 9-7. Absolutely. That is nailed. He has absolutely nailed that lap. Mitchell only a 10-0, but Mitchell, as I said before, on that medium tyre, so he's only a second back on a medium tyre. On a medium tyre here for Mitchell. He's going to put up a fight later on as well as we go through the swimming pool chicane with Boba this time. This time he's going through Raskas. And then through the final couple of corners up to the straight now, and he is going to go to the line. It's only going to be at 11-1 for Boba. Also 11-1 for Stava. Big turns on 11-5. Tepos on 11-8. BR4, I'm assuming, has just started lap. We'll see what he can do. First sector, 18-3. We got yellow flagged in sector 1. We got yellow flagged all over the goddamn place. Caesar also on the lap right now. And BR4's got a bit deep there. Just a bit deep. Just about avoid the wall as well. Yellow flag in sector 2 is just the Williams waiting in front of us, well now behind us as we watch on BR4's lap, going down into the chicane now to end sector 2. Everyone seems to love that sausage curb on the inside. Now down towards the twin pole chicane now as we get things going. Into Rascas goes BR4, and BR4 seems to be on for a decent time. I'm not sure if it's going to be 9 flat decent, but it's going to be decent nonetheless. 8, 9, 9, 9 there for BR4, and everyone has had their first shot here at Monaco. But yeah, we're just watching everyone go through now. I think there is someone actually about to, but not. I think everyone is just finishing up. Actually, Baraka's on a lap, and I didn't even realize that, but he was going into the pits. That's my bad. There is Baraka now, does a 1:087 as yeah, something tells me we might be time. BR4 is coming into the pits. Everyone's starting to head back out onto laps. Boba actually up by 0.2 of a second at the moment, so we are going to continue to watch as he's actually up by 0.7 of a second now. He'll be about a 10.4. It's only good enough to move him 2 positions on a 14 car grid as we watch as we go around the final corner on the lap now down the straight. Can he do anything here? It's a 10.0, almost crashed into a back of a couple of cars on the pit lane. That was almost disastrous. I'm assuming Baraka is heading into the pits, and that he is. Mitchell will be the first one out then. But things starting to fall into place now in this qualifying. Mitchell is now on a soft tyre. He's probably seen what Baraka's been doing and now knows he has to notch it up put it up a notch or two. He can't settle for thinking he's got the best chance. He has to do better than Baraka at all costs. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 or has to do on all sorts of wrong there. I think that's just actually Tepos pulling over to the side to get out the way more than anything else. Dagger also on a lap behind us. Mitchell needs to find about a second, nearly 1.3 seconds actually would be enough to put him on provisional pole as he goes round into the tunnel now. We've got yellow flags flying all over the place as Boba goes into the pit now. Fade Bloodwave is starting to head out. He is. As we come to the end of the second sector with Mitchell. What time is he doing compared to his last one? He is up 3.5 tenths. It's not a major improvement. Not in terms of he should be doing a bit better. He's got to challenge Baraka, who is quite frankly on fire at the moment. And Mitchell going through the final low corners of the lap, goes down the straight, hits the lap, is a 9.5. He needs to find 0.8 of a second from somewhere. And Steger up to the line now. Steger is the next one. He got Yarlow directly behind him. Steger's actually invalidated his lap. Yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy how on fire Baraka is right now. It's Yarlow 10.4. I need to see who's the next one to the line. Daxy's the next one to the line. He's currently enough to bring him into the 9s by quite literally 1,000th of a second, and actually doesn't get there because his third sector was not as good. Who's the next one to the line? McLaren going for an outlap is Cedar, but that would mean that Stell is actually the next one to the line. 10.2 right now. We've got 0.6 in hand. Goes to the line. It's now a 9.5. Only just behind Mitchell in second place. Spectre is out. Mitchell has invalidated his lap. Might be going for a double. Tepos behind him. Actually, that's Baraka behind him on an outlap right now. Tepos doesn't look like his car is the cleanest either. He's 4 seconds down right now. BR4 on an outlap. Baraka on an outlap. The Mercedes having a nightmare. Yalo also here at the moment too. Don't know how... No, Yalo's going to go into the pits. Which leaves us with a couple of options now. We're actually going to go and watch Baraka, because how can he improve on his 8-7, sorry. Looked to the wrong thing for a split second, and it gave me a different number to say. But Tepos in the marathon strap. I don't think so. I don't know. Something just tells me that he's not been on it for the last couple of races now. There's not really much hope of him being on it again. I don't think. Here you go. BR4's out. BR4's out. Oh, that puts a spanner in the works for BR4's, well, any sort of championship hope. That is bad news. Bad news there for BR4. He's out, Elite's out. Baraka's not on a firing lap here whatsoever. Steger might be. Steger is actually not. He's 5 seconds down too. What about Bloodwave? Bloodwave is currently 0.2 of a second up. That would be enough to put him up into third. Steger did a fun 9.5 flat. As we watch Bloodwave to the line now, as Bloodwave does a 9.463, and that is enough to take him into second now. Mitchell out on a outlap now as well. I think Baraka might have just scraped the wall there as we came back on. He is only just slower, so it's signifying that he's going for it. That looked like a little bit of a drift. He might not be going for it much anymore. And we got Baraka down the tunnel. He's going to come out the other side. We'll get a good look at whether or not he's able to improve on that 8.7. That 8.7 is going to be extremely hard to beat. He's playing with fire on that chicane on the inside there. He's going to go for the second sector. He really is getting everything out of every corner he physically can at this point. He is still a little bit slower. He needs to get a better third sector if he wants to improve his lap, albeit I'm not entirely sure the improvement's necessary as he hits the wall on the final corner of the lap, and that is definitely going to hinder any chance of that happening. Definitely not improving if you're putting your car in a wall. I don't think Yalo's going to do it. Actually, Yalo's going for it here. Yalo, Yalo's going to finish his lap. He actually went 3/10 quicker, up to 10th he goes. Staber on a lap as well, currently 2/10 up. So we're going to watch Staber. Actually, we should watch Big Turns. It's currently a 10th up. Then we'll go to Staber immediately afterwards, and possibly Mitchell. After that, the Big Turns, a 10.9 actually puts him above Staber, who we're now going to go and watch. And we get to see right now whether or not Staber can improve on his 11. He is by 0.4 of a second right now. That's only enough to beat both McLarens. The McLaren's not having a good day of the office at all. Tepos also went up to 6 on a 9.9. Actually beating BR4. BR4 obviously can't set another lap. He is out of qualifying. We go down to the line. Staber 10.7 is only enough to take him ahead of both the McLarens, which means we are now going to watch Mitchell, who is currently a little bit slower. Currently not able to get anything out of his car. Is not really closing in there much on Baraka at all, as he does go a 10th and some change quicker and put him on a 1.94 to the dot. Obviously Tepos on an outlap now. Staber will probably head back into the pits if he's got enough time to. I don't know if he's going for it again here, Mitchell. I don't think he will. Yellow flag in sector 3 is just one of the Alpines. I think that's Boba is setting up. We're actually going to go on Boba right now. Actually, no, we're not. Wait, that's Mitchell. Yeah, we are going on Boba. Let's watch his entire lap. currently a 10, just shy of a 10-1, just outpaced a little bit by Daxi. Oh, that did not look good coming up the hill. You don't want to be doing too much of that. Staber's out of the session. That's another one down, but this time not to a wall. He just ran out of time. Mitchell into the pits as well. He should be in and out very quickly. He's going to have to do a couple of... he's got to get it going. He's second right now, but Barak is going to wipe the floor with everyone, apparently, at the moment. That's the last thing Mitchell wants here. He looked at this track as a track he could potentially start to gain a little bit of a gap on, but he doesn't have it. Boba, at the moment, yellow flag for Mercedes up into the first couple of corners. Boba is actually backing out. Boba's backing out. He has to go for it again. Daxi's also going for a lap right now. We're actually going to have a little look at a few of the drivers. Tepos is the next one to watch. Actually, I don't think Boba's going for it again either. I think Boba is essentially calling it quits. Tepos is also kind of just warming up his tires right now. His tires look relatively worn as well. It's just a shine you get with some of these. Stell actually the next driver that's on a fast lap then, and Stell is not on a fast lap. So, is anyone actually going to do a lap here then? Because right now, I don't think there's an awful lot of anything going on. Bloodwade's about to go on a lap too. You know what? We might as well go to Bloodwade because there's not an awful lot of action happening elsewhere. Daxi goes setting up for a lap now right behind Blood in the Mercedes. We've got three. Yellow flag in sector 3 is just one of the Williams having a bit of a problem. Here comes Bloodwave out for a lap now. Playing it very dangerous with the wall on the outside of turn 1. Outside of Sandoval. Comes up the hill now. Doesn't look like he's actually tried a late apex for the first corner and nailed the second one. He isn't quite quicker than his prior lap right now. He used to find him a tenth of a second in order to be pushing Mitchell, maybe a little bit more than that to actually be in front of him. We go around into the tunnel now with Bloodwave. Out of the tunnel down toward the chicane. And we need to figure something out here if Barak is not going to take pole by a country mile. Here comes Bloodwave into the end of the second sector, and he is finding a little bit of time, but not a lot of time. An invalidated lap. He's even going to get to the line to go again. I think that might be the end of Bloodwave's race. Qualifying, sorry. And Daxi's definitely done now. He's over and out. That's the end of his one. Bloodwave is not going to make it to the line, so that's the end of his qualifying session 2. Oh, that did not look great for Stell, who's drifted in straight into the pits. Tepos has decided not to go anymore. Baraka's on the line right now, or heading toward the line right now. He doesn't look too in control of that car either. He slides out the last corner and might be a little bit happy with the fact that he already has a significant lead. His qualifying though almost ended in a crash. That would have dented the confidence a little bit. Steger has invalidated his lap, so we are going to Mitchell, who currently is not quicker. Mitchell needs to find somehow a 7/10 of a second in one sector, which he isn't going to have, and he gets to 9.3, and that's only enough for second. Yarlow, the only one left of everyone so far. He is a 10th up. That would not be enough to move any positions. It didn't look clean out this last corner, to say so myself, but we go to the line, and yeah, he only gains 600ths of a second, and that solidifies his 10th place. So BR4 crashed down mid-quali. It's only 8th. Mitchell and Baraka on the front row, and well, it goes between the two of them once again. But Baraka takes yet another pole in ALR, and well, if his recent streak is anything to go by, of converting. That qualifying was as dominant as it could possibly have got. And well, we get about 20 seconds now before the end of qualifying properly, and we go into the race. Got about a second or two now just to figure everything out, and then we'll wait for everyone to pick a strategy and everything that goes with that too. But now we get to wait. Obviously, formation lap will be on for this one. So we'll get to watch everyone go around, and there should be formation lap. It is formation lap. Which means Baraka for Mitchell, 1 and 2. Then you got Bloodwave and Steger on the second row, 3 and 4. Bloodwave high again for the, well, like, this the third race running. Been pretty good, a pretty good run of form for him too. You got Stell in 5th, Daxi in 6th. They sit on the third row. Stell looking to make this one count. He's not really had the greatest of seasons, but looking to turn the form around. Daxi needs to help his teammate for a constructors battle, otherwise that'll end up being run away from them very quickly as well. And Tepos looking to help Baraka out, and the other way is Tepos, so it's Red Bull versus Haas 1-2, and a Red Bull versus a Haas further down the grid too. BR4 in 8th after crashing in qualifying, probably not going to heighten his confidence much. Boba in 9th, and Yalo in 10th, but well, Boba's had a couple of good performances. Yalo had been on a streak of really good performances, especially being there when it counts. Elite 11th after he crashed out early. Staber 12th, beating both the McLarens on his lap, and then both the McLarens sitting on the back row of this race. After a, well, it was convincing from Cedar around Canada, but Cedar's not really doing an awful lot at this point either. Look at that Nelson Aguilar touchdown. As we come back toward the grid now. We're just getting set up on the grid. Everyone taking their grid spots. No one's disqualified themselves just yet. It looks like through we'll have decent tyres for everyone. That looks like that should... What? Taxi. Everyone's on the line. Taxi apparently got the ability to readjust his... that's going to be glitched. We're glitched. 100%. Everyone's lined up. Daxi. Yep. You can tell that's going to happen. That calls for a restart. Mitchell's been disqualified too, and apparently it's just a Red Bull saying problem. We're not going. That was very clearly the end of that. Well, we have to restart. You love to see this game, right? You love to see how functional this game is. Well, we have to do an entire new lobby now because the game decided to glitch. game basically glitched him into a lap immediately. I need to figure everything out now, and so I'm waiting patiently on an invite from Mitchell. Get into a lobby or two. And there's the invite from Mitchell. Mind games from Daxi. Definitely. Yeah, everyone needs to start on the same tyres. Which would have been helpful if I had saw what the tyres were. But I didn't. Why didn't it not let me join? I very clearly clicked to join Mitchell's lobby. Right, now we're actually in the lobby. I was wondering why I clicked on the accepted on the invite, it just didn't take me anywhere. Still need a couple of people to join. As everything's going on. But yeah, right. Just need to get things rolling over. I think we're still missing 2 people. I think everything, we need a couple of people to join first before we can go properly. And Baraka's one of them, as Baraka is now joining into the lobby. Just waiting to, we actually need to figure out everything that's going in. Big turns, Caesar's in, Staber's the Ferrari, Boba's in too. So who's the one we're missing? Oh, Stel. Stel. How could I forget about Stel? How could I forget about Stel? Stay back. Stay back. Let's go down as things I never want to hear. Looks like we that's incredible. Baraka's got a Baraka's in a lobby with a bunch of ghosts apparently. I can't wait. Seattle winning. Seattle having a game. We got a couple. Well, I'm trying to figure out what is actually going on right now. This we can. Are we going? Formation lap is off. So this is going to be fun. Formation lap is going to be off, so... Just figuring everything out. Just trying to figure out when we're going. Mitchell's readied up, which I think is a sign that we are about to go. Are we good to go? Nope, we're not. Oh, this is, well, we're on 8:30. That's a catch and a half. 11 trailing backs. No, it's putting a formation lap on, okay. Which means we are pretty much ready to go then. Right, here we go all over again. Talk about my uni instead, Pyro. Okay, well, I mean, I can't because my uni's finished. My uni's finished. I've got to, you know, wait till January for that to start back up. Missed a spot. Had to sort everything out after, well, late because they took resets and all this stuff. Did graduate though, which was always great. Always great. My graduation's actually middle of November, I think. And, yeah. I'm actually about to get going again. No formation lap on, so I swear to God, if somebody forgets their brakes into turn 1, they're dying. It'd be funny. We get to wait and see if anyone's forgot their setups now, because that usually happens. This, you know, sometimes this game is absolutely great. I'm surprised it's taken everyone so long to put in their setups and someone for strategies. I'm almost expecting just a random person to hit the ready up button. And actually, talking of that, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we're actually going for good this time. It's 5 red lights and lights out, away we go. Baraka's got a very good start off of well, into Sandoval, and so it's Bloodwave, and Mitchell's gone deep, and Mitchell's out, and the championship battle just went south immediately. Mitchell's out on turn 1. Mitchell is out at Sandoval. Oh my God. Everything went extremely quiet then. Wow. Wow. That is an interesting start. I'll give you that. Well, Mitchell's out. We're going, Mitchell's out, and Baraka has a chance now. Baraka has all the chance in the world. Oh, that's a bad mistake. In terms of the championship battle, that is huge. We're about to go back racing again because the little flicker in the top corner of the safety car. The virtual safety car even. Are we going in? Boba's coming to pit, and I can't say I blame him. Oh, we're still not going, and we're going now. We're going now, okay. So this is a... Oh, Bloodwave right at the wall a little bit there, and I think so did Steger. Almost had another person fall to Sandavot there. It looked like Baraka's not got the gap he had at the beginning of the set. Well, the beginning of the restart. And it's not good news if you're Mitchell, that's for sure. He's the first one out of this race. This title battle just took a huge swing. It's about 5/10, 6/10 of a second. And there's not a lot going. Not everyone just sat themselves in a tree right now. Let's see if we can any sort of move. This could be interesting down into the chicane. It would be a very a very interesting way to attack someone, that's for sure. I'm not sure I'd pick the chicane round here. Then again, you don't really have much other options. Chicanes are usually the only overtaking possibilities here. Someone into the pits. Mitchell's out already. He just went straight on into Sandavot. And Baraka's clear. Daxi's into, well, in 12th now. As he pits in lap 2. Bloodway, the only one left to actually close in on Baraka. We've got a little bit of a train forming in the back and a little bit of train forming in the field. Let's see if Mitchell wants to join me a minute. But yeah, Seeds are getting past Staber. These go side by side, and I'm pretty sure ghosting shouldn't be working at that point. Staber might be an AI at this point. I don't have any clue at this point. And Staber, yeah, Staber just drops back a little bit. Nothing really happening at the moment. Just going to very quickly make sure I don't have a different. Yeah, things are still fine for me. Yarlo's actually the closest person now on track. There's a little battle going on between BR4 Elite and Yarlo. That is one hell of a start. Mitchell straight on into the wall. Steger setting the faster lap now. Brakes failed. Oh! His brake failed. His actual brake pedals failed. That is an extremely unfortunate time for something that important to fail. Also, yellow flag in sector 1. Someone's had a bit of a problem there. I think that's the Ferrari of Staber. Might not have enjoyed the wall too much. Also, Baraka out in front now by just over a second. Keeps flickering in and out. And yeah, it's just slowly meandering along already on lap 4. Everyone just far and away from each other. Safety car won't come out at any point because it's Monaco. And yeah, it's just waiting for something to happen now, I think. I think everything is just starting to go along a little bit. We've got a three-way battle here between Elite, BR4 and Yarlo, but that's just been simmering since the start. I think Bloodwave already has a track limit penalty. Yeah, he does already have a track limit penalty. That's an interesting way of going about things. Especially for Bloodwave, who's out 8/10 of a second behind Baraka, and well, DRS is not usually something that matters a lot. Baraka is not enjoying the hairpin here. He's sliding all the way through it. As much as possible, pretty much. And you've only got maybe 2 or 3 people within a second at this point in time. Staber into the pits now. Apart from that's not the pit lane. Staber is not in the pits. Why is this game considering him in the pits? What the fuck am I watching? It looks like Yarlo's the only one actually close enough to make anything happen at the moment. But most of Monaco is just sitting here and watching, waiting and just trying to figure out whether or not someone's going straight into a wall or anything like that. Mitchell leaving the session probably didn't, you're right, but it is what it is. His brakes failed immediately, so I think he's got a bigger problem than just the lobby to figure out right now. Everyone's split by about a second at the moment. You got a second from first to second, and a second and a half splitting second from third. And it just doesn't look like much is going on right now. We lost one of the 14 drivers already. We're on lap 6 of 39, and if this race continues much like this could be a relatively interesting, I'd say interesting, could be a long drawn out night. PA announcements just having a bit of fun in the background there. Apparently Monaco is an outlier. But until then, until we figure out what the rest of that PA was, we're going to continue to watch the game, well, the battle going on right now between Yarlo and Elite. And I think Caesar may have had a bit of a problem there going through the corner. Just about survived it. It's the only one within a second here, Yarlo and Elite. Obviously only the one DRS point in the entire track, which is down the home straight, which realistically doesn't do shit. So you actually have to corner your way past someone in this one, and let's be honest, it doesn't probably happen a lot. Around Monaco, twisted circuits, and twisted circuit is just not happening. Not allowing much in terms of an overtake. See if Yarlo can try and force one near. My controller battery is now low as Yarlo looks to the inside against Elite, but backs out, and probably a wise move. See if he can do anything down into the end of the second sector here. He does not. The Elite's just going to hang on. Elite is just going to hang on a little bit longer. Yarlo looks to the outside of Raskas. And it looks like Elite is now into the pits. Elite was on the hard tyres. It only did 6 laps on that hard tyre. Bear in mind, safety cars and that is not really a feature at Monaco. Monaco, obviously, for some reason, the game just does not like bringing a safety car out here at any point. Saber picks up 3 seconds worth of track limit penalties here. It looked like Steger's actually closed it up 5 seconds to Saber for speed into the pit lane, and Saber's out the session, so we're down 2. Saber off the back. Tier 2 had 3. What, then 3 safety cars? I didn't think they could come out in Monaco. I thought that was just part and parcel of the game, but safety car couldn't come out. I know a virtual safety car can, obviously. The virtual safety car can, but we've already had one in this, but safety car might actually come out in Monaco now. That's good to know. That's good to know. We've got a few people trying to fight their way through here. It's not really going on a lot at the moment. Now it's Stel that's got within a second. It was Steger a minute ago. Now it was Bloodwave beforehand. Now it's Steger. And, was Steger, and now it's Stel. We're just figuring out how to go along at the moment. Also Elite within DRS of Daxi. But as for now, Steger also now within a second of Bloodwave. Bloodwave obviously having 3 seconds in terms of time penalties for track limits. And yeah, it's just trying to figure out what's going on at the moment. Oh, Bloodwave did not look like he's having much fun on the exit of that chicane. That car almost looked like it was sideways for a split second, and you don't want to be that. You don't want to be like that around here. That's probably a death sentence before you know it. A little bit slidey here for Steger too as he comes out of Raskas. And down into Sandavot now. Steger now the only person within shooting distance, actually, apart from Elite, who's now at the back. of the grid. Doesn't look like a lot is happening else outside of these 3 battles that we've got. Well, I say 3, but these 2 battles that we've got currently going on. Just trying to. Also, the sound cuts out every single time we go to the hairpin. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. It's actually quite unsettling. Right now, a couple of people within the shot. Elite not quite within the shot of Daxi. He might be going into. Well, he might be going down the hill. Doesn't look for it now. Maybe. He holds enough, and another tap going through the hairpin this time. It doesn't look like Elite gonna find himself a way through. He's not going through the tunnel now. He's gonna, if he's gonna send it, he's gonna have to pick his spot and go for it, because you can't half-ass it around Monaco. If you do, you will end up in a wall, and well, that would just induce probably another safety car if that's the case then, if that can in fact come out. But now we'll figure out. Oh, Elite looking again. Elite looking on Daxi. Daxi gone deep. Daxi gone deep, and now they're almost side by side. They are in fact side by side. They came together a little bit there, and I think Elite has finally got past Daxi. Has down for an out of Rascas. That was pretty nicely done there by Elite. And to see that 2 people going through those corners and not crashing each other out is quite refreshing. It's a pretty hard task to do when you put it that way. But Steger now the only person within shot of actually making anything happen. We'll figure it out as we go along. He's currently 9/10 of a second. Bloodwave has lost all sense of grasp on Baraka, who, well, with Mitchell's pedals failing immediately, should look to extend that gap from 3 to the upside of 20 today at the very least. Probably looking at maybe about a 28, 29 point lead at the end of this. We got no one now within a second, apart from Elite now on Boba actually, and Boba is going to be fighting Elite as Caesar comes into pit. Elite looking to just try and fight his way back through this grid, and if he could do it successfully, he might be in a very good position later on. Bear in mind, there's only 3 people that have pit so far, technically 4 if you count Boba's first lap pit. Well, we will actually count that, so it's 4 people that have actually pitting at the that have pit at the moment. But Boba trying to go to the end on these tires is pretty extravagant, and I think it might leave him a little bit of a sitting duck to Elite at some point here. And it will. Elite might be about to pick his spot. Elite's not going to pick his spot there actually, and backed out of it. Just sat here waiting for Elite. He's currently just on the back, about 10th and a half off the back of Boba. Looked like he got a little bit of a better exit out of the swim pool chicane there, but not able to do anything into Rascas. And again, just gonna have to sit for a little bit of a time, and Daxi's looking all over the place back there. You saw that coming into the background. I think Boba just moved a little bit there to defend off Elite. Now Elite's gonna find a way past. Elite has to find a way through, but unfortunately he's not going to, well, right now he's not going to be able to do it. They're going to come up the hill. He's got to pick a spot. The longer he sits behind Boba here, the longer it's going to be, well, the more difficult it's going to become later in this race for Elite. Bearing in mind he's already 12 seconds off the back. Well, he's 10 seconds off the back of Big Turns, another 12 seconds off the back of Yalo after that. So he's got to get in front, make some movements happen here. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it here either. And just figuring everything out. Caesar's out. Caesar's out. That's behind us. Cedar is out of the session. He's parked up in the chicane. I think he may have hit the wall. And that you're meant to be trying to convince me the safety car can come out of Monaco. He's parked up in a chicane. I'm not entirely sure how that's not a safety car. I managed to get him away before any of the cars come around. I guess that's probably the only saving grace. Here comes Elite on the outside of Boba this time. Not actually able to do anything. Not unless he's going to get a great exit up the hill. And he is going to get a great exit up the hill. And they're going to go side by side up the hill this time. And I don't think Boba's going to be able to hold on. Elite's got the inside line. Elite still has the inside line. They're still side by side. They've gone through the entirety of Sector 1 together. They're now going to go to the hairpin. And they've come together. And they've come together again. And Boba has just lost out of the position there. Elite hanging it around the outside. And that's the most action we've seen so far this race. We're already down 3-1 lap 15 of 39. We can just keep the arrow pointed at Elite the entire race and might actually get some big interest in the rest of the grid not actually doing anything whatsoever. Maybe when it comes to pit later on that we can push a couple of, well, things can get a little bit mixed up. Big Turns now comes in for his pit as that will move Elite up one more. I think Boba's come in as well. Boba probably got some damage then on his battle with Elite on the inside of that hairpin. Which is unfortunate for Boba. That's probably pretty much the end of his race. He's going to definitely need a safety car, and he's going to need a little bit of time because Baraka's coming through Rascas now, and Baraka might be about to lap him. And again, the audio cutting out here is just unbelievably creepy. Yeah, Boba has got out. I say that, but he hasn't really allowed for much time to get wrong here before Boba gets lapped by Baraka. That would mean we're down another one as Yalo and Stel now both pins. Let's see where Elite can come out in reference to these two. In reference to Stel, not anywhere. Stel is out of the pits now, maybe against Yalo, as we watch Elite coming out of the final corner now. Yalo's going to get out in front of him too. And now they both pit, so Elite's got 8 laps older tyres and not the positions he probably would have wanted. Which means you just have a little bit more work to do here, Elite. Stel also has 3 seconds worth of track limits. BR4 is just taking a look on the inside there of Tepos. And while we're down to 11 drivers at the moment, Boba's playing with fire of being lapped, maybe down to 10. Sooner rather than later, in comes Bloodwave, in comes Steger. Baraka stays out just to make Boba's life a little bit more misery. In comes Tepos. And BR4 stays out. It looks like things could be getting rather interesting here. Strategies coming into play. Yeah, there's a couple of pits here for Tepos and Steger. Steger is actually going to lose out quite drastically here, I think. Steger is going to come out right in front of Yarlo, which means he had lost out to Stel and to Bloodwave. Well, possibly to Bloodwave as we go along. Stel has got this right. And yeah, Bloodwave pit as well. So yeah, both of them not really in a great position. Bloodwave now has to fend off Stel's tyres, which is actually probably warm by this point. Steger's lost our position at the very least. Stel up into, well, net P2, net P3 as we go. Oh, what's happened here? Bloodwave ghosted. Bloodwave has ghosted. He went a little bit too wide, and there goes Stel on the inside of in the chicane. And wow, Bloodwave, that's a costly mistake. Lucky he survived not hitting a wall. So we almost had another Caesar situation in here. Caesar obviously DNF'd in the chicane not that long ago. It doesn't look like Bloodwade's going to be able to fight back against Stell immediately either. Both of these guys having 3-second time penalties, which are, at the moment, completely nullified by the fact that they are 5, nearly 6 seconds up on Steger behind them. But for now, about 4/10 of a second split Stell and Bloodwave as we look towards second in this race. On lap 18 of 39, Baraka still got a pit, BR4 still got a pit. They're the only two left. You see in the bottom of the screen as well that Boba is getting dangerously close to that leading car. Boba obviously doesn't have to pit again, but if he gets lapped before, it might just be a case of him giving up on the spot. Can't afford another mistake there. 19 seconds for Baraka right now, and quite frankly, there's the cue for Baraka to pit. I don't think Baraka's going to have too many more problems from this point onwards. It looks like Steger's just set the fastest lap actually. BR4 coming out of the pit lane now as he is going to come out alongside Elite and Tepos, so we're going back to round 2 of this three-way battle. BR4 won it the first time. BR4 gets out with a second gap over Elite this time, so maybe we're not even going into this three-way battle, but a duel behind BR4 more accurately represents what we're going through right now. It looked like BR4 just doesn't really get what that's what in that chicane. Well, not in that chicane, in that hairpin at the moment. He seems to go relatively deep every single time he gets the chance. And in comes Baraka. Well, Baraka is now pit. He will be out, in and out, well in the lead. I don't think there's going to be much questions about that. He's actually going to come out of the pits now, and well, we're not even through Raskas with a second and third driver at the moment. Albeit Baraka probably doesn't have the lead he was hoping he had. But we'll wait and see whether or not things change here. Elite and Tepos are going after each other, and Tepos is going to have that position because Elite has gone into the pits again. And Dax, he's going to overtake Elite as well by that measure. Down 3. Currently lap 20 of 39 with 11 drivers left. Boba at the moment will not have to worry about being lapped unless he makes any more mistakes. He should be safe for the moment in time. But not a lot's going on right now. We'll actually go and have a look at Stell versus Bloodwave again. Moment 0.6 of a second, closest battle on the grid. You got Daxi versus Big Turns coming up too. The Big Turns having a little bit of pace around him this time. He might be able to pick up a point or a couple of them as well as we go through this one. Might be his biggest points haul of the season. But for now, we only have one within a second. It involved the two drivers on the grid. There are only two drivers on the grid right now. That has a 3-second time penalty. And Steger is actually inside Bloodwave's 3-second time now. Bloodwave is very close to not dealing in podiums today. 0.6 of a second, now 0.7 of a second. Stell getting a bit nicer of an exit there as he goes through the tunnel. And we're going to head down toward the chicane yet again on lap 21 of 39. No one really troubling Baraka. Mitchell's brake failure literally at the beginning of the race pretty much ended any chance of that. But until for now, Elite goes into the pits again. Or it looked like it said Elite going into the pits. Elite, has Elite been lapped? No, he has not. And Baraka's really close though. couple of guys looking on the door of being lapped at the moment. Baraka is only a singular corner behind Elite, so Elite got to pick up the pace a little bit, considering that Baraka is the quickest guy on the track without real questioning right now. Like Daxi and Big Turns have gone against each other. Actually, Daxi has gone into pit to stop for a couple of guys in this race already. He's still got Blood Withered still. These two are the only two within a second at the moment. Boba's got in front of Daxi, which means Daxi is now in danger of... well, Daxi actually going to go after Boba, so he won't be in too much danger of being lapped. Elite is dangerously close though. If you look at the mini-map, he's going into Sandavot now, and Baraka has just followed him. Baraka's half the hill behind in terms of lapping him, so he might be down to everyone who finishes gets a point sooner rather than later here. Elite is praying for a safety car in the near future. And honestly, Daxi and Boba might be looking for similar things too. Big Turns could deal with one, but I don't. Also, at the same time, he probably won't complain driving an 8 on his own for the rest of the race. Or he knows for a fact that it's up to him. As we continue through lap 23 of 39. Still in the same positions we were before. Nothing has changed very recently apart from Daxi's pit dropped him to second to last. He'll be really close to Boba actually coming up in a minute. We're just going to see if he can get him up the hill. Red Bull versus the Alpine for 9th. Not being able to get him into the hill. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get him into the middle of Sector 2 either, which means he's probably going to wait until the next lap. Yeah, and if he's going to wait until the next lap, which he probably will unless he's going for it now, this could be interesting. Is he going to go for it now down into the chicane? I don't think he's alongside. I don't think he's anywhere near alongside. No, he's not. And he decides to back out. He's going to wait. And Daxi picks up 3 seconds for track limits. And that is probably not good. In terms of Daxi's race, he's obviously not going to end much higher than 9th if he can get there, unless there's a little bit of twist in the tail coming here. Wait and see whether or not that's going to happen. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Daxi's going to have a good exit up the hill here. Maybe he goes for up the hill. No, he decided not to. He probably could have there. It looked like he got one hell of a run. Choosing not to. Oh, and Daxi's at the back. Daxi just hit the back of Boba. If Daxi's picked up damage, that's probably going to put him in lap territory, and if it does, I think that would be probably the end of his race. Also, Elite has now been lapped by Baraka. So we are down to 10 drivers, essentially. Even a safety car won't be able to save Elite now. Daxi's hoping he hasn't got damage. We'll wait and see whether or not he dived into the pits. He does not dive into the pits, and Elite has actually retired for the session, and that is going to bring out a virtual safety car again. Regal, I'm almost dead certain a safety car cannot be brought out around this track. It could not be put in a worse place if he tried there, Elite. Well, we're down 4 drivers now. The virtual safety car is going to neutralize this a little bit. Waiting and seeing for about Stell and Bloodwave had decided to pit. It looked like we're going. Yep, we're going again, which means Baraka's a 19-second lead to Stega, who's going to the end for sure. Stell and Bloodwave decided to pit again and have come out behind BR4 and Tepos, which means they're got a lot of work for them to regain where they were. Second and third, they may have just thrown away podiums between each other in attempts to try and cover one another off. And Yalo, once again, the man in the right place at the right time at the moment. And he seems to be doing that a lot. This point in time has been extremely good for, well, Yalo's just been... I don't know how he does it. I genuinely do not know how this guy does it. Well, we're down to 10, so 4 people DNF at the moment. But Yalo has just missed the consistency. He's always in the right place at the right time without fail. I don't know how he does it. And yeah, it looks like Tepos is hunting down BR4 a little bit, not enough, and BR4 is not really closing in on Yalo a decent ton either, and this is essentially how this works at this point. It looks like Tepos has been caught up quite drastically by Stell. Stell might need to be, well, he needs to get past Tepos sooner rather than later, because he needs to get through to BR4 and then on to Yalo's at least 5 seconds up the road. With 12 laps left to go, and well, Stell, realizing this, has got the inside line down towards the chicane, and now in the chicane, oh, he's got a little bit deep, and I think they may have came together a little bit there, but Stell had got in front, using the inside line in the chicane. He had to go for it, he couldn't wait. It makes it work. Bloodway 6.5 seconds further back. Bearing in mind, Stell also has a 3-second time penalty, so what you make when what we said was 5, well, it's actually 5.5 to begin with. There's also 8.5 when you add the penalties on, so Yalo in a very good position to steal yet another podium. It looked like, yeah, it's about 4.6 now between Yalo and Stell. We currently watch on the audio cutting out yet again. Daxi's not really making any inroads on Boba at the moment. You would have thought that he would have been able to, given the situation, given the tyres, given everything that's going around. People have been making decent overtakes here in Monaco, so you would have expected Daxi to, with better tyres, at least attempt to make the same. It doesn't even look like he's looking for them at this point. He's just content to sit back here. The only problem for him is that the content to sit back is bringing Baraka into lapping them. We might be allowed to lose 2 more. But it doesn't look like an awful lot's going on here. Daxi taking it very clearly, very cautiously down through the chicane there. Big Turns gets 5 seconds speed in the pit lane. Big Turns might be in a little bit of trouble here. Is Big Turns even going to get out ahead of Baraka? I don't think he is. Oh, Daxi's not going to enjoy that. Daxi is sliding. Daxi's got damage. Daxi has damage. Daxi has no front wing there. He has a lack of a front end plate on that left-hand side of the front wing. And that is going to mean, well, Big Turns has been lapped. Daxi has damage, so he's going to have to pit again. He's about to be lapped by Baraka here too. And Boba, a little bit further up the road, probably isn't that far away either. Baraka going through, just killing off racers one by one, and there goes Baraka deep into the hairpin and gets the lap on Daxi. Also, yellow flag in sector 1, and that is BR4 who's gone straight on a Sandavot. But he got the car up and running again. And it doesn't look like he's got an awful lot amount of damage. It doesn't look great for him though. It isn't going to look much better if you're going into the wall there either. He doesn't have any visible damage, so he might have a little bit more damage. It might have actual damage that we can't see. But for now, that did not look good for BR4. BR4 slipping all the way down to 7th. He slid into, well, slid through turn 1, I guess. The best way of putting it. It looked like Bloodwave got past Epos there. Bloodwave did get past Epos. Nice little move through the tunnel and down in through the chicane as well by Bloodwave, and now he who's actually caught all the way up to Yalo on lap 31 of 39. Yalo at the moment on 15 lap hold hards, fighting off against Stell right now. Daxi's been lapped, Boba's been lapped, Big Turns have been lapped, so we're down to 7. BR4 has gone into the pits. I think Baraka's a tad far away from BR4 to try and lap him. That would be headlines for the Twitter later on if Baraka could lap half the lobby. Well, if he could legitimately lap half the lobby, that is. It looked like Yalo's holding on against Stell. Maybe Stell not having the much life on those tires as he first thought. But Yalo is holding on. We're on lap 32 with Baraka at the very least. I'm going to lose track very easily of how many laps we've done in this race. You know, we're on 32 with Baraka. This is 31 with Yalo and with Stell. Right now, it doesn't look like an awful lot's going to happen. But it looks like Stell's going to try and force the matter here and down into Sandavort. And doesn't go for it. Backs out the move into turn 1. Can he get a better run up the hill? It looks like he has got a better run up the hill. We've seen this once before, but we're not going to see side by side up the hill this time. We're going to see Stell off into 3rd, but it has a penalty still. So Yalo just needs to hang on to the back of Stell for dear life. Right now, he doesn't look like he's doing it. Like Bloodwave just lapped Daxi. The game is up for those 3 at the very least. BR4 only a corner and a bit in front of Baraka right now, and we're just on the lap counter. See how many people can be lapped as we go along. Yalo already outside of a second behind Stell. Stell might be able to snatch the 3rd place on the podium right now, but still, Yalo is always right place, right time for a huge point score. He's just been great this season, Yalo, especially for one of the guys that you wouldn't class. You look at this group and you wouldn't class Yalo as one of the guys that you would go, yeah, he could be in the fight for podiums every week. But he always somehow manages to find his way to make it there. And at this point, it's unbelievably impressive. Oh, it's a little bit deep there by Yalo. That probably could do without that. Big Turn's also a second behind Boba right now. Big Turns has a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane to try and maneuver through as well. We're on lap 34 with Baraka at the very least. I think we're about to turn into lap 34 with Steger. Actually, Steger's going through the 3rd sector, and Yalo and Stell is the battle we're watching. So, well, Baraka 25 seconds up the road. It isn't the biggest win we've seen in ALR. We've seen 50 seconds wins before around this track in particular. don't get safety cars to come out, and that usually is what that means. Getting the safety cars is usually always a nice little freshen up of the race, so to speak. Yalo's just going to hold off Bloodwave now, because I don't think he's going to stick within the 3 seconds of Stell as he drops out the 3 seconds of Stell as soon as I say it. Yeah, I don't think Yalo's going to be able to hold on, especially against Stell, so maybe a 4th place up for grabs. I think Yalo might be a little hard done by. Feel a little hard done by if he gets a 5th. Probably worth a little bit more than that this race. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It's not Steger, which means it's BR4. And that is Baraka right behind BR4. And that is first in the championship, lapping 3rd in the championship here at Monaco. BR4 makes another mistake. And we're down to 6 realistically in terms of the first lap, the finishing lap. We're on lap 35 with Baraka at the moment. Tap off the lap of the last of the unlapped. Still very surprised some of the guys are continuing on. We'd still get the point even if they DNF'd at this point. And it looked like just not an awful lot's going to happen through the rest of this race, apart from Bloodwave against Yalo here. But even then, Bloodwave needs to break 3 seconds if he was able to get past Yalo as we move on to lap, well, I think 35 with these guys? Or 36. Well, Baraka's just gone to 36, so we're on lap 35 at the moment with Yalo and Bloodwave. Yeah, still not that far in front of the group. You got Steger in front of that. Yalo doing just about enough to hold on at this point. Yalo actually has got himself back within that 3 second gap of Stell. The podium dream for Yalo isn't dead yet. It isn't dead yet. It might be dead if you hit a wall again though. That is not the greatest of turn 1 for someone trying to eke his way through to a podium here. Daxi, the car in front, being lapped by half the grid now. It's going to be close. We're on lap 36. Baraka's about to go on to lap 37. That's a ridiculous gap, by the way. Almost half a lap. Absolutely ridiculous. It looks like, well, yeah, Bloodwave is not really able to do anything here against Yalo. Yalo putting everything on the line right now. Yellow flag for Daxi pulling over to the side. I think he forgot that he ghosted and isn't really a necessity for him to do that. He's still going to pick up a point nonetheless. Not a great day for the Red Bull Constructors team. Yalo moves on to lap 37 right now as he's just about holding off Bloodwave and needs about 7/10 of a second in order to try and get himself back to Stell. So he needs a mistake from Stell yet again. And it doesn't look like a lot. It doesn't look like that Yalo is going to be able to get that 7/10 on Stell. Stell's just about going to get a podium here by the skin of his teeth. It actually gained up to 9/10 and it's over a second now between Stell and Yalo. That should seal the deal. Well, we're on lap 37 of 39. Forget the 38 on the lap count right now because that's Baraka's number and Baraka's alone. They wouldn't, things I would have had down on the bingo card for tonight is BR4 getting lapped is not one of them. Stella's got really close here to Steger. I mean, it's a bit too late. I don't think he's going to be able to get that and 3 seconds as well. But that would be pretty good news for... that would be a pretty good race here for Stell. I think he would take being on the podium for sure. Bloodwave is really close to Yala now. It's really on the back of him. And they also got Baraka. It's almost... well, he's now 1 sector away from lap 39. And he has a 28-second gap on the battle we're seeing in front of us. Big Turns picks up 3 seconds for track limit warnings. Daxy's gone into the pits and comes out of the pits. Big Turn's also trying to go after Boba. Boba's still 8th for the moment. Yarlo holding on. Steger holding on as well. Albeit Steger's got a bit of a buffer with the 3-second time penalty. And it looks like Boba's going to be able to hold on too. We've got Baraka on lap 39. I think we're about to watch Stell and Steger go on to lap 39 too. And then 3 more drivers to make their way onto lap 39. Tepos the back here as well. Baraka, look at this. Baraka's already in halfway, well, pretty much in the tunnel, halfway through the final lap. And that, today, as soon as you saw Mitchell go off at turn 1, was complete and utter domination. It probably would have been very similar regardless. Maybe not 28 seconds, but maybe a little, maybe it would still have won nonetheless, I reckon. And today, there has been no one even remotely close to the caliber of Baraka. And Baraka wins again, and this time in dominant fashion at Monaco. No one stepped to him. No one dares challenge him at the moment. And he is on fire. We watch Stell and Steger battle it out for second, albeit Steger has a 3-second buffer. Steger also on track as second place right now as well. You got BL4, Boba and Big Turns all finishing their race. Daxi is about to turn in as well. And there goes Steger for second, Stell for third. Yolo, right place, right time, is just going to take and sneak a 4th. Bloodway's going to end in 5th. Tepos is the last one. Well, Daxi is technically the last one across the line. But Tepos is the last one to cross the line on the actual finishing lap. Tepos will take his 6th. It's a good day for Haas. It's an even better day for Baraka. And that was what you call domination. That was a destruction. That was just a demolition. It doesn't get much better than that for Haas. That is the end of the race here at Monaco. Not the most interesting one to watch, admittedly. We got some overtakes, but it's a Monaco race. I'm not sure what you expected. But nonetheless, with the podium celebration and then the final standings, I think when these standings finally pop up, I'm going to go and leave that there. It's been a good day. It was a fun race to watch. Pretty much a typical Monaco race to watch. But until next time, in a bit.